Hey guys, Dylan from the Geek Door here, and today I'll be bringing you my reaction to Netflix Daredevil Season 3, Episode 1. Now, I'm starting this with Season 3 because, well, when these were coming out live, I watched Season 1 of Daredevil, I watched Season 2 of Daredevil, I watched Season 1 of Luke Cage, Season 1 of Jessica Jones, Season 1 of Iron Fist, The Defenders, and then I stopped for some reason. Don't know why I stopped, because I was enjoying all the shows, but for some reason I just stopped. So, with Born Again coming out in a little over a month, and that being now a near direct continuation of this story, as opposed to what it was originally planned to be, I figured I should probably at least watch all of this. I should also watch all of Punisher Season 2 because we know he's going to be in it, but unfortunately that doesn't really work with the schedule. Now, originally, I was planning on releasing this last Tuesday, so the 21st of January, because then that would have perfectly been Tuesday, Thursday, leading up until the 4th of March, and then the first one would have been coming out on the 6th of March, which is basically the day it comes out. Unfortunately, last Tuesday, sitting down to record, rapid onset migraine. And then last Thursday, when I also could have put out the first episode, I overslept and almost missed my start of stream time, and then after that, I didn't have time before I needed to go to bed for my sleep schedule. So, I'm starting it here. At some point during this, there's going to be 2 weeks that have 3 episodes instead of 2. Don't know when I'm going to be doing that now. In fact, I may do this week. We're going to have today, tomorrow, Thursday. And then the week that it drops, we're going to have Tuesday for 12, Wednesday for 13, and then start it up on the Thursday. I think I'm going to do that. So this week, 3 episodes. The next few weeks, 2 episodes. Final week, Tuesday, Wednesday for this, Thursday for the start of Season 3. But yeah. Anyway, so this is directly picking up after the ends of Defenders, which ended with Matt and Elektra buried underneath New York when they took down the Hands operation to unearth the dragon skeleton and everything. I forget why they wanted it. I forget if that was tied to their resurrection thing or whatever it was, but yeah, that's where we left Matt. And now, before we get started, I do actually know at least part of this what this season is about, and that is because it is one of the comics that I have, specifically Daredevil number 230, or issue 3 in Born Again, where Matt, after being beaten near to death, is found by and taken to a covenant. Not a covenant. A covenant nuns? Is that a covenant? Whatever. So, issue 3 of Born Again, which is a title that should sound familiar because that's the follow-up show to this, is following some of this season, is following some of that. So they've taken the name of this story to make the next show, and then the elements of this story to make this season. Yeah. So I know some of the twists that are going to be in this season. But, yeah. I also know who the main antagonist is, because you could not avoid that when this was coming out. Anyway, first episode's titled Resurrection, and the synopsis is Matt rethinks his purpose and place in Hell's Kitchen. So just get this loaded up. There we go, it's running a little slow today. And let's get this started in 3, 2, 1, go. Also, one thing I don't know is, does it get followed up with what happened to Elektra? Because she was down there with him. I forget if she was dead at the time and he stayed with her body, or if they went down with the ship together, but... So that's how he gets to the church, okay? And it also means that the person who found him knows about his Daredevil. Kept that piece of information until it was entirely necessary. Also, I forget, is this the confirmation that Langston knew Matt was Daredevil, or did we know he knew before? Okay, there's the answer. She was still alive when it collapsed. The same orphanage that Daisy Johnson grew up in. Ugh. So the massive head trauma seems to have knocked his senses a little loose. Okay. Well, and I forgot how stylistic this opening was. And two, I forgot how long it was. Yeah, I thought there was still a little more there. Never mind, it's not that long. I am familiar with what he's going through of being deaf in one ear. Luckily, mine was not permanent. It was a sinus infection, but it is very disorientating, especially in his case. He wasn't even seen getting out. Can fathers take confession face to face? Hmm. Trust kids to always ask the direct questions. Yes. I mean, given the circumstances, yeah, it is a fair question. I forget how his relationship was with Foggy and Karen at this point. But I mean, he's still got Luke, Jessica, and Danny. If he wants someone who knows what he's been through. What are you doing, Karen? I don't think you'd be able to convincingly no suit for her to do it anyway. A world on fire. Don't agree with me. It makes me question if I agree with me. I may not lie to you, but I won't tell you I'm alive. Was this all stuff that we've seen in previous seasons, or is this new? I probably should have watched the other two before watching this. Right, because he was in Defenders with his black mask and that. Oh, you both have access to his apartment. No, I had a key. You're gonna try and talk her out of it, aren't you, Foggy? Tell her Matt's not coming back. And you doing that is probably the only reason he survived. I don't remember. Well, you are correct. Well, that's a good thing. Sharing your place of worship for other religions that are disadvantaged at the moment, that's not something you see very often nowadays. Hmm. Just like your old man. Very Christian of you. I don't. They... Should we really be using language like that beneath the church? Isn't the saying God saves his toughest battles for his strongest soldiers to test their faith? Because a weak man, you give him a light battle and he may falter. But a strong man in faith, he needs a strong challenge. So, don't know why I was half expecting them to cut themselves while doing that, but making an omelette, I guess. I've never been big on omelettes. Don't know why. What sort of inmate has his own personal skillet? Ah, that kind of inmate. Right, because she's not. She got kicked out of the country, didn't she? Or. No, she left so that she wouldn't be. Small things are coming back to me. I wonder, is that what turns him informant? trying to get amnesty for Vanessa, and in return he will use his resources to help the police. You know, Matt, maybe you might want to start actually using the stick again. Or not. Ow. Still got a little bit of your spatial awareness. I thought nuns were meant to wear their habits all day. Or was that just while the church is open? I like Sister Maggie. Patched up some of his wounds. Okay, Matt didn't throw the I saw him after the fight, like I thought he was going to. There was a reason it was called Battling Jack. Surprised that didn't break. You're gonna flush your ear out, aren't you? Oh, nice. Ugh. Well, that probably cleared you up quite a bit. I don't really understand how a sinus infection can affect his touch, but I guess if there's some swelling on the set. Nah, because the touch is a different part of the brain then. Would the nuns really not have thought to clear his sinuses? I was honestly expecting this to come in like episode 2, but then again, it's only 13 episodes, so they did have to sort of speed this one up a little, I guess. Just, let me guess, knock to the head, gonna scramble his senses. Okay, maybe not, because he's taken 2 so far. Created a boxing ring under the church. That's Ah, there it is. Hit right to the ear. Well, I'm just gonna lay here for a little. I mean, a blow straight to the ear would disorient anyone. Is there going to be a scene this season of him going to Mass? I mean, he doesn't exactly need to go if he can hear everything through the floorboards, but I think the act of being there is also counts towards it. Excuse me. The devil atop the church, eh? Were they after her or her dad? Oh. It's still not 100%. He can only focus on the fight or the people by the looks of it. Oh. Honestly, that could have gone a lot worse. But he seemed to give up fighting. Oh no, he's got his billy club now. I knew it'd somehow be gone. Though that car was pointed right at him, they would have seen where he went. Why did you trade your Labour car? There are still kids in the room. So you've put yourself into financial hardship for while helping your brother out. That is pretty admirable. The subtitles just took a complete sentence out. Okay. Saying you'll fix everything with a financial issue and then pulling a gun out of safe is questionable. What are you going to do? Oh, oh, you're an agent. Never mind. That gun's probably your work one. That is a fair question. Well, ah, that's a fair it's a fair policy to have in the FBI. I feel like this time he's going to give you something. I thought it was going to be the no, because why would the NYPD have the ability to make a deal with him if he's already in prison? The FBI makes more sense. You give Vanessa immunity, and I'll give you information. Okay, that's how the first episode ends. Okay, so there was both more in this episode and less in this episode than I was expecting. Like, less in the fact that I sort of expected by the end of it that Matt would be out of Sister Agnes's, but also I was expecting him to be going back later on to build the relationships up more. And I do worry that Agent Nadim's going to prove his... See, I can see it going down a path where Nadim proves his boss right, does get under Fisk's thumb for financial gain. But I can also see it where Nadim proves to be not targetable, where even with everything that's going on, he's still able to resist Fisk. I don't know where it's going to go. If it's a second one, I don't think that he'd survive the season. But to give us his financial situation, us his position with his job, then send him straight to Fisk, who's now willing to work with them. I was also sort of expecting to see Poindexter in this, though it's also not surprising that he isn't introduced in the first episode when there's 13 near hour-long episodes for this season. Because you got to remember, most shows nowadays are half hour to 45, whereas these are 45 to, well, this one was 53. The longest one I think is 55, so it's an extra 15 on the minimum and an extra 10 on the maximum. So yeah, I guess makes sense that even though there's a shorter amount of episodes this season than why was I thinking that the other seasons were 20? They were 13 as well. But as I was saying, even though it's around the same length as most shows nowadays, it's also got a lot more time. So I do wonder how much of this story that they pull from, other than the sister Agnes, because, well, I know they're pulling some parts of this for the future show, but let's just get back to 2:30. It's 2:29. There we go. 2:30. There's the waking up with the nuns, specifically Sister Maggie. I don't think they're going to be doing any of the Karen stuff, because I feel I would have heard about that, and also she's not really in the same position that she was in during this story. I don't even think Bullseye appears in this story. That's all Matt. Okay, maybe not. That is Matt fighting someone. Okay. Then you get the introduction of the Russian, which, if I remember correctly, not the Russian, the one with the American face paint and has the colored pills from Jessica Jones, I think it was. I forget what his name is. He shows up. Yeah, there are definite elements of this that, from what I know of, are going to be in this season. But I can also see certain parts that might show up in the next one that's actually named off of that story. So I'm just wondering. I don't expect... Is it the American? No. American flag face paint. Oh, Nuke. That's it. I don't expect him to come back. Yeah. I don't expect him to come back. I probably would have heard if he did. So, They've probably got a different villain. There was a part of that where it seemed like it was similar to something that I know happens in this, but don't know if that... I'd have to read that again to see if that's actually what's happening. But yeah, this show was entertaining from what I remember. This episode was pretty much setting everything in place, and we did get to see some Daredevil action. I wasn't expecting that in the first episode. But yeah, I wonder, by the looks of it, just on the thumbnail, the next one's going to be sort of the opposite of this, where it's Fisk-centric, and then we'll get a little bit of Matt. Though, how accurate that is, I'll just have to wait until tomorrow's episode. But with that being said, I'll catch you in the next one.